Let's do it. Coach, before the season, true or false, you knew the defense was going to be this good?
Well, I don't know anything before the season, other than that there's going to be a season. I hoped that we would have a chance to have a great defensive team because we were going to have more depth. I knew that Trey and Nas were going to be better this year, and having 2 point guards with speed and quickness was going to allow us to press more. I hoped that was going to allow us to have a better defense. Because I think if you can press, it wears teams down, and they have to deal with your press. Then they have to try to figure out how to score, and it has a wearing effect on people. But I didn't know anything. No, so false. I didn't know that.
Is there something?
It's a long false.
Is there something with the team, like another level of just taking ownership of the defense this year, and even more so than normal, and just taking it more seriously? That's how you're going to win.
Well, I think I believe all good teams know why they win, and I think our team understands why you win and why you lose, because we have some mature kids, some smart kids, the leadership of this team, the culture from Justin Jackson and SK to Troy and Kev to the guys, Gary and Kyle. There's been a lot of winning that's gone on around here, a lot of winning in the last years, so it's kind of indoctrinated in our program of what it takes to win and be consistently successful, and it's kind of second nature around here. But this group of guys is highly intelligent with the adjustments they're able to make amongst each other, which I think has put us on a little bit of a different level right now, where we're second in the country in defensive efficiency, which we've never been that high, despite all of our people talking about our defense. We've never been as high as we are now. I think our ability of our players to make adjustments amongst themselves in the middle of possessions and recognize what they need to do to get a stop is what's going on, and that's a credit to the players.
You're on a pretty good goal, but you're playing a team that, on paper you should beat. They just beat somebody by 38. So what challenge is this Carolina?
Great challenge.
It's a great challenge. Again, irrelevant what their record is means nothing to me. Try to train my team. I know I'm saying the same thing every week. Try to train my team that their record is irrelevant, should be irrelevant to us. We worry about execution and what we need to do to play well. I got guys who have careers who are all trying to play better so they can become better players. I also have guys that want to try to get in the NCAA tournament as high a seed as possible. So performing consistently is our goal, irrespective of who our opponent is.
What is East Carolina dangerous?
Well, the other night, they scored 98. I think young teams, they had a lot of turnover. Williams hits 6 threes. He hit 6 threes. He hit 6 threes. He hit 6 threes for him last night. I guess I should say, since you're writing this for tomorrow, I should say he hit 6 threes Wednesday against South Florida. Cantrell Barkley's been around a long time. They got athletes and they have size. Now, if they make some shots against you, teams can compete. I think what separates you is, for us, if we out-rebound a team by 10 and we get 40 deflections, we'll perform well. I'll be happy, and I'll be able to eat a nice dinner Saturday. But, if you get 40 deflections, you can scrape out a win. But if you get plus 10 on the glass and you get 40 deflections, I like our chances with the talent we have in our locker room. But that's an effort. You got to bring the effort. You got to bring the physicality, and the challenge is to make sure you come with it. I think our advantage is if you don't come with it, we can put somebody else in. So that motivates your guys that are in the game. It motivates the guys when they go in that they need to perform at a high level, or there's somebody else can come back in, or maybe a third guy can go in. Which is why I think depth's so important, to be able to have consistency. So I just focus on our effort, really. being physical and our effort. And then obviously you always want to execute. But that, shots come and go. Sometimes you can not play really well, but you made a lot of shots. And because shooting can cure a multitude of sins. But I think we're due to get hot there. We shoot. And shot the ball real well.
Gary Clark got in that attitude that you've been talking about, so you didn't reach that point.
You got to, my job. I've learned with Gary. It's just got to be. You got to constantly stay on him because he has a tendency to fit in on the offensive end. Not only he always has, defensively and rebounding wise, he's always aggressive. He has a tendency to just fit in on offense. And I just, I remind myself back to when I was an assistant and I coached Kenyon Martin as his position coach his senior year. I told him if he didn't get a double team, I was going to run him. And I've done the same thing with Gary. If he gets a double team, he can pass it. If he doesn't get a double team and he passes the ball, I'm running him. So you see me, if Gary Clark doesn't get a double team, he needs to go score or get fouled. Or he's going to hear from me. He's going to hear from me.
Have you had to run him?
No, I've taken him out a few times. People, in the course of the game, you have to remind him. He got a little reminder the other night when he came back in and went a taco every time.
Coach, what do you look for from the bench? And what have you been getting, and how can they continue to evolve?
Well, the key, we have this talk a lot. For us to continue to win and have a chance to be a great team, we're going to have bench production. We've had it. It's got to be better. And whether it's Keith Williams with a steal and a layup, or Trevor Moore with a hustle play and a three-point shot. Those are just two guys as examples. Just constantly developing those guys. That's what our program's about anyway. Those guys are the future of our program. Constantly developing those guys and getting them ready to be in the moment. So when they're in there and in that moment, that they don't flinch. They know we believe in them. So those guys practice more than the other guys. We work them out extra from here on out. They get more reps. They get more individual work. Try to keep the other guys fresher. But their development is going to be huge for us now. Not just for our future, but for this team. I really believe that. For us to be elite.
Is it enough for them just to be reliable and solid with the ball and everything, or do they need to actually bring production, you feel?
Well, you can't put them in the game if they're not reliable and solid with the ball. Production comes after that. I want them to believe, they got to know what they're good at. And when during the moment, they got to know that shoot the ball, and you can't flinch. You can't worry about missing. You got to worry about being reliable and solid.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're not talking about the longest on the winning streak in the country, but it's remarkable that you've done it on different floors. You just picked it up from the other.
I'll tell you two things. We've never discussed a winning streak at home as a team, and we never discussed playing at New York, Kentucky. I let Mark Berger give the logistics to the guys on how we were going to handle it. We haven't had one shoot around there. We haven't had one practice there.
You don't have shooters.
We've never been there other than to play the games.
Really?
I just don't think it has anything to do with how you should play this game. The dimensions of the court are the same.
You said you would shoot around here and then
Oh yeah. We always have shoot around here. Why would we bus over there for what? The rims aren't a different size.
Well,
I mean, the court's the same
yeah, I
length.
just wondered how you handled it.
There's no people because it's the most overrated thing in basketball. I mean, there are no. It's going to be different when you put people in the stands, the background, the depth, all that stuff. So I would say the only place I believe that I've ever coached where I think it's important to practice in there, if you can, and definitely shoot in there is the carrier. That's different. Hopefully another dome, I'll get to find that out.
Do you like the way
They play games in April in domes.
Do you like the way it's gone over there? It's considered just a,
Yeah, we haven't lost.
but the crowd.
I just, I appreciate our fans that come to the games. I wish everybody was louder. you know, I wish everybody screamed more, but I know everybody's not 20 years old. So, you know, I focus on the people that come. I appreciate it. Northern's been accommodating. Other than that, I just try to stay in my box. I would have to ask our players. You know, I'm pretty, you know, well, I would say the students, we have less students probably over there. I don't know that. I have any.
You would assume.
Yeah.
There was a report yesterday on Twitter about the NCAA maybe relaxing the rules on transfers in basketball and football. And I know
That stuff's going on. The transfer, like, so I'm on a, I don't know what I'm on. I'm on some kind of lower level guy on the committee. So I've heard this for a couple of years. So to me, it's not surprising. If it happens, it happens. They don't care about my opinion, so I don't cast it.
well, I care about your opinion. Would you want to see those rules last?
Yeah, you know, like again, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and there's opinions on why, whatever, and all that. We don't have enough time here in the soundbite for me to give you like my in-depth thoughts on it. I would just tell you it's my job to be prepared for it, however it goes, and that's just kind of what I think. You know, to be successful, you got to know what you need to focus on. So, like with my staff, we've discussed it because it could be a possibility. I focus on if it happens, when would get enacted, because then you got to be prepared for it. You know, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. That's what Twitter's for. That's what talk shows are for. I do know this change is constant, and you have to. You can't fight it, whatever the change is, as a business person, and that's just the way it is. So maybe someday there'll be some panel we'll talk about whether it's right or not. You know, to me, I think the best thing for all these kids, they need to make sure they graduate. That's the most important thing.
Do you think there would be a major upheaval if it did happen? Do you think you would see a lot more movement than we've seen now?
Boy, I mean, that's what I would say. We got a lot, almost 700 transfers now. You know, so I think what's underrated is it's not a penalty to sit out a year. Okay, if somebody decides to give my child a free year of college, an extra free year of college, it's not a penalty. Because 99% of these kids are need to get their education. They're not going to be 100 millionaires. Not millionaires, 100 millionaires. So it's not a penalty. But that being said, you know, I'm not on either side of it. But I don't know if there'll be more transfers. It'll be interesting. What I can tell you is, if it does happen, it will, and the transfers do not sit anymore, it'll kill graduation rates, which to me is what matters most for the kids on my team and on all these teams. They need to get their degree. And obviously, simple math tells you you're going to have a better chance to graduate in 5 years than 4. So that I would say is the danger zone, and I think not being talked about at all. I haven't heard that. Now, I've voiced that, but it will really hurt graduation rates in the two sports that need help the most, football and men's basketball. So that part of it's will be a bad side effect, because now you're going to be out, you're going to use your eligibility in 4 years with a transfer, that you could, where you might have to change majors, you might lose a significant amount of credits. Like Kyle Washington lost credits because we did not have his major. So, you know, he's a great student. He does everything on time. He would not have been done. He was not done in 4 years. So because of his transfer, he needed to fit in. Same as Kane Brook. So that part of it will be a bad side effect.